what we're going to do is start rendering down some tallow. I've got grass-fed tallow here, beef fat, that we've acquired. And when we bought some beef, and while we were grinding up the beef, we went ahead and ground up all of the beef tallow. I put it in freezer bags, and I freeze it. It's not necessary to grind your beef fat when you're making tallow, but I find that when you grind it up, it renders down a lot faster. And I don't have to spend days and days trying to render down big chunks. We start processing this, and we'll go through the steps of how to make tallow. I got the fat in the pan. It'll thaw. And then I add a couple of quarts of water to it and some salt. I add probably 4 or 5 tablespoons of salt in a pot like this. And in the water and the salt, what it does is it pulls the impurities out of the fat, so that you get all the icky bits out, and you just end up with a lot cleaner product. So I'll get this heated, and I'll turn it down on low. I could put it on the wood stove too. I think I might do that because it's cold out today, so we got the wood stove going pretty good. And just let it slowly render down until the fat gets a little bit translucent, and then we'll start straining it and start the clarifying process. And once we're ready to do that, I'll bring you along with you. I'll bring you along and I'll show you that whole process. I use a slotted spoon, and I scoop it up, the bigger pieces. That way I don't have as much to strain out. We'll get most of it out anyway. Then I take my jar, and I use a paint strainer, and I put it over my jar like so. I just scoop the tallow out and run it through the strainer. When my jar gets pretty full, I just pull it up and let it drain. Hot. See that light color on the bottom? That's the water and the salt. The water and the oil, they don't mix. And so the water will come to the bottom and pull all the impurities out with it. The impurities out of the oil, the fat. It's a little bit of a mess. Okay, and we'll just let that drain down a little bit. You can give it a little squeeze. It's hot. Burn your fingers. And I put this into another bowl, and then I'll put that into another strainer and let the rest of the oil strain out of it. Put that into our bowl. And I just keep scooping it all out until I get it all out of the pan. These paint strainers work really good. They strain a lot of the gunk out of your oil pretty quickly in the beginning. Okay. We just keep doing this until we get it all strained. But you can see that water separates really fast. Some people ask if it tastes salty because of the salt that you put in. It does not. The water pulls the salt out of the tallow, along with, like I said, along with a lot of the impurities that are in the tallow. And then we're just going to dump this into our bowl. Hopefully our bowl is big enough. Being brave here. You can see the little bits. It looks pretty good. Now we have all of our tallow strained out, and we have it in our bowl. Will flex a little bit. If you put it in a pan, I put it in the pan before, and it's really hard to get out because you have to chunk it out because you can't flex the pan to break it loose on the sides. So now that I have it all done, and I have it strained, and I have it in my bowl, I'm going to set it outside, It's only 17 degrees out here today. So, and this will solidify and it'll get hard. And then we'll show you that next step when I bring it back in. Well, I just brought the bowl of tallow back in. And this is what it looks like after the first clarification. You can see all this gunk on the bottom. Those are all the impurities that the salt and the water pulled out of it. I'm just going to scrape this all off and try to get as much off as I can. You want to scrape all the way the whole bottom, and then get it as good as you can. You can feel it. It feels kind of rough. You can feel it on there. I just scrape it all off. Then I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe off as much of it as I can wipe off. You want to try to get this as clean as you can for your next round of clarification. We'll probably do this a few more times yet to get it all as clean as possible. Like I say, I just keep wiping it off. This is what it looks like. You can see it's real dirty and gunky. Those are the impurities that the salt in that water is pulling out. Just cut it up into chunks and put it back into our pan. We're going to add more water and add some more salt to it and remelt it down. Well, we have another round of our tallow that's all hardened up. I'm just going to flex the bowl a little bit. It breaks loose and see what we got going on underneath here. We still have some impurities. See, that's the sludge here. Just start scraping it off. You can see the water's clearer than it was, but there's still ick on here. Try to get as much of that off as I can. And I scrape the whole bottom. There, that looks pretty good. And I'll take it out. We'll set it on a paper towel and take another one here. We'll wipe off as much of that as we can get off. There, nice and clean now. And then we'll cut it again, cut it up into pieces, put it back in our pan, and add some more water and salt to it, and melt the tallow again, and let it go again. This is what our water looks this time. See, it's still not real clear. It's better than it was, but it's not real clear yet. So we'll repeat the process again. Put this all back in the pan. It's coming along though. And then we'll add water to it. This is a half-gallon jar, so about 3/4 of that. And we'll put in our salt again. There we go. And we'll put this back on the stove, melt the tallow, put it back in the bowl, and we'll chill it again and see what it looks like. Well, I just brought the bowl of tallow back in. It's all solidified again. We're going to flex it and break it loose from the side of the pan. And the problem that we have is the water froze on the bottom of the pan because I left it out all night. Well, it's going to be an epic fail. Not really. What we're going to do is we're just going to let this thaw out. I don't know if you can see the water line here. This is all the water that came out, and the impurities are out with the water. That's good though. And I'll let this thaw, and then we'll come back to it. Well, we're back with our tallow. I think I have it rendered as much as I am going to do it. If you look at it, it's here. It looks really good. It's really nice and white. No icks in the bottom. I did this, clarified this probably 5 times until I got it as clear as I wanted. If I was just using this for cooking, I wouldn't be so particular with it. I am going to use it for cooking, but I'm also going to use some of it for making tallow lotion and moisturizer for my hair. And so there's a final step now that we've got it clarified as much as I want it and as good as I want it. I'm going to take and put it, I have just a Pyrex 4-cup measuring cup, and I'm just going to chunk it up here, and I'm going to put it into the Pyrex cup. I don't have a double boiler, so I use it this way. And then I will set that into a pan of water and then melt it like that, because I want a real gentle and easy melt on it. Once you got the water out of it, it's easy to burn it, and I don't really want to do that. So I just put it into the cup as much as I can here. It's just so beautiful. It's beautiful white. Okay. I bring it over here. I do have a cloth in the bottom of the pan. And I just set it down in here with the water, turn my burner on, and let that melt down. We've got it all heated down and melted down. What I'm going to do is just going to leave it sit here for a couple of minutes. And if there's any extra water in here, the water will float to the bottom and the oil will stay at the top. I don't want to stir that water up at all. But I'm just going to carefully ladle it through my strainer and into my jar until I get down to where I'm brave enough, down close enough to the water, to the very, very bottom, that I don't scoop any of that water out. I've just got just the tallow. And then I'm going to fill the jar till about 1 inch head space. That's usually the first bigger ring on the bottom. And then I put a regular canning lid on it, and I just tighten it down finger tight. Okay. It's getting closer to the bottom. I don't know if I can pour it a little bit here. So I think that's as brave as I'm going to get with that one. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put it into another cup, and then I'll set this cup in the refrigerator, and all the water will soak to the bottom and the tallow will harden on the top, and I'll pop that off and I'll use that first for cooking. And then we repeat the process. Now I'm going to save what's in here. I'm going to let the water settle out real well, real good. And I'm going to use this to make some tallow lotion, moisturizing lotion. Now that we have it all rendered and clarified and strained again, we've taken all the water out of it, we have beautiful shelf-stable tallow. Once this hardens up and cools off, it's still warm, this will turn pure white, just like it was before when we were melting it. And you can keep this right in your pantry. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. Like I said, all the water is out of it, so it's not going to go bad. It's not going to mold. It isn't going to get rancid. And it's just beautiful, healthy tallow. wanted to show you what I got. I got a bathtub. We only have a shower, and I've only had a shower for the last 8 years, which is okay, but I sure miss my tub. I have a 4-foot shower, and the reason we didn't put a bathtub in is because I needed room for the washer and the dryer on the side, and then the shower, a closet, and then an area for all of our off-grid stuff in our bathroom. And the measurements didn't come out right for a tub. And I thought, well, that's all right, I can deal with it. But I really miss my tub. So I found this on Amazon, and it's 47 inches long, and it's just absolutely wonderful. It has the drains in the bottom. It fits right into my shower. I take my shower head off, and I just run the water right out of the pipe into the tub to fill it. The sides of it it's insulated, and so that it stays warm. And the water doesn't get cold. I can stay warm in here for up to 2 hours. I haven't been in any longer than that. When I first got it and I used it, and the first night I used it, I told my husband, I said, my life has come full circle. Because it was just so lovely. It is so wonderful to have a tub I can sit and soak in again. And what's really nice about this is I can take it outside in the summertime and set it out on the deck and have me a nice bath. It's just wonderful. And it's real easy to put together. These snap in, they have these little slots, and you just snap them all together all the way around. And then you put the legs on, and it holds it. And it's real sturdy. It doesn't feel like it wants to break loose or nothing like that. And then to take it down, these in the middle, they snap up. You can tip it, and the legs can come in, and it folds up if you want to store it. And then to open it up, just pull it all up, and it's as easy as that. I just leave it sit in the bathtub. And if you want to use a shower, we just set it out onto the bathroom floor, and we're done with the shower. We set it back in, and I don't have to take it up and down or anything. The drains that it came with one on each end, and the drain in the shower is in the middle, which makes sense. And I had a problem with it draining at first, and so we put a drain in the middle. It comes with a blow-up pillow, and it comes with a blow-up backrest. And we took the blow-up pillow, and we took the air piece out of it, and we put it in the bottom and siliconed it all. And on the outside, we left a flap on the outside underneath, and we put waterproof tape around that. And so it sits right over top of the drain, and when I'm done, I just pop the drain, and it drains right down the drain, and it is absolutely wonderful. So if you don't have a bathtub, and I'm not sponsored by the supplier of this tub or anything. I just love it, and I thought I would share it with you, that if you're looking for a bathtub and you don't have one, this is a wonderful alternative.